Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. D'Andriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here. Can I get a motion on the reports?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the code compliance for August, code enforcement for August, bill control officer for August, ECI for June and August, EMS for August, and the Patterson Recreation for July and August. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion on the supervisor's reports?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the supervisor's reports for June and July. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion on the minutes?
There are none.
None.
I'm sorry. Can I get somebody like to audit the bills?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve abstract number 16, dated August 27, 2021, in the amount of $179,778.34. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I believe we have a couple of budget transfers floating around.
We do. First one we have is budget transfer number 22. Is necessary to allocate additional funds to the town clerk contractual account for Easy Pass supplies. So we're increasing minor sales other revenue account, $525, and we're increasing the town clerk contractual expense accounts by $525. I'll make a motion that the town board approve budget transfer number 22. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. I'll make a note that due to the initiative of our town clerk, who put the Easy Pass program in place for the town of Paterson, that Easy Passes are selling like hotcakes. So if you haven't received or you need any type of Easy Pass, come hither. Next, we have budget transfer request number 23, and this involves Dorset Hollow Water District, allocating funds to the daughter district, Dorset Hollow Water Admin contractual and equipment accounts. And we are increasing by $7,000 appropriated fund balance, the fund balance account, and we're increasing a water administration equipment and capital account by $3,837, and the water administration contractual expense account by $3,163. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve budget transfer request number 23. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Peter.
All right, first on my agenda, I have a letter of resignation from one of our EMTs. These letters of resignation are always kind of bittersweet, right? We hate to see our EMTs leave. We have these great EMTs, but it's good to see them going off to bigger and better things. You know, it's like one of the questions when we interview them, we always ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, and a lot of them are in nursing school or taking the fire test. So anyway, without further ado, I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation for Christina Marie Hughes, who is moving on to bigger and better things. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
With regrets.
Next I have is the Sonictel annual renewal proposal. So we have a contract proposal here for our annual maintenance agreement for our phone system with voicemail, 24 phones and 9 lines. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the supervisor to sign this contract for $1,872 for our annual phone contract. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I have a comment, a question. This is just for town hall.
Yes.
What about the other buildings? Do we have anything similar?
We have different systems for the other buildings. They don't need this type of a contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is
Charles?
all I got for today.
Next, we have a memo from our building operations and maintenance man, Dennis Mays. The recreation center heating system is in need of flushing and replacing the antifreeze throughout the system. And this would be at a cost of not to exceed $1,978. So I'll make them, and that's from a company, Dave Ames Plumbing, Adams and Adams Water System, Plumbing and Water System. Dennis also reached out to 2 other companies and both declined responding. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve hiring Dave Adams Plumbing to handle the flushing of the heating system and the antifreeze for the heating system in the amount of $1,978. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have again from Dennis, with relation to Club Court. I would like to replace some panels and parts on the playground. We have money in the budget to replace these items. We received a quote from Miracle Recreation Equipment for the parts needed. The total cost is $2,945. So I'll make the motion, and this he details all of the components and additional items for 7 items. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the quote from Miracle Recreation Equipment not to exceed $2,945.55 for the work at Club Court. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, historical sign update. A while back, the town board asked the Paterson Historical Society to take a review of the signs in the Hamlet area that fell into disrepair to the extent that we removed all of the signs. They have provided this report that everyone has, talks to replacing the signs that were there, plus a couple of other signs. And we're talking about in the area of about $5,000, $6,000. I would ask town board to review this report from the Historical Society, and that we ask a representative or 2 from the Historical Society to come in one of our work sessions and go through this and discuss the details that are in this. I had a very pleasant and informative meeting with 3 members of the society, Pat Ploger, Judy Moberg, and a fellow named Rob. I can't think of his last name right now. And they were, as you can see, they did a lot of work, and it gives us a good ground part to review and see what we really want to do about the signs. So it's a lot of detail, and I think everybody needs to just review it, and then at one of our budget meetings, we have some folks come in. Thank you.
So, Charlie, before we move away from this, are we going to see the pictures that will be on each of the sign as well as the specific language?
No, we're going to, at this stage, we are going to see a brief description of what would go on the signs.
Well, we have that, but that doesn't give us a lot of the detail about what will be going up there.
Well, I think if you need, that's the whole idea of meeting, you know, with them, to talk about how they see the signs evolving.
Do they have different options of the different types of signs, or do they have one specific
Did-
type of sign in mind?
There's one specific type that they want to show us and talk to us about. So
Did they have a sample when you
they
went?
have, yes.
Oh, okay. It would be nice to see it, because I
Oh,
know
yeah.
the issue with the current sign was that the metal was there, but they completely faded.
Yeah.
They gave you examples in their report from Millbrook about what
Yes.
they've used in Millbrook, also on the rail trail.
Yes.
You know, my concern is, you know, what the picture is, what the exact language is going to be on the signs, knowing what that is.
Yeah.
I think we need to, you know, because I really would like to see this done by the spring.
Mhm. Well, that's,
So you can convey that back.
yeah. Well, I think we should invite them in. And have
Happy to invite them in and talk to them, but again, if all we're going to talk about really is, you know, what the signs look like. I know what the signs are going to look like.
Yeah, I'll get into the description, a further description.
Okay, Sean.
Okay, thank you. First item we have is a request from Dennis Mays, our Building and Operations and Maintenance Supervisor. There were some improvements that were needed and repairs needed to our generator for the Dorset Hollow generator, the wastewater treatment plant, and that was approved back a few months ago. In doing that repair, they found some additional work that was necessary for that generator, so it got into a cost overrun. So the additional work was done, and that amount of the difference was $1,702.21. We had previously approved $5,634, so the total now for this cost for this generator repair was $7,336.48. So just making a motion to approve the additional expense for the Dorset Hollow generator. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item we have Mr. Piazza here who can speak to this. We have a request from the Paterson Fire Department, and this relates to purchasing new SCBA equipment, bottles, masks, and tanks, and where we find the money within their budget. Paul, if you'd like to speak to this, there's a couple of ideas that they have for where
Yes,
to
thank
kind of
you.
borrow the money from your existing budget.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The Patterson Fire Department, we have started to put together a project to purchase new SCBA face masks and packs. This is the firefighting equipment that individuals use when they go inside a fire. The project, when we first started looking at it, we, over the years, have kind of just bought a couple every year and tried to replace them as they fell out. Unfortunately, they get dinged, they get damaged, we have to buy them out of schedule, and we took a more strategic look at it. And what we discovered was that we make more of a bulk purchase, replace all of them at one time. It gives us an opportunity to get into the newest technology that's available right now, save a significant amount as we buy bulk, and to re-budget. And what I mean is, instead of most of them have a 15-year lifespan. Some of the equipment's a little bit less, some a little bit more. The average is 15 years. So when we plot the costs of the entire purchase over 15 years, our year-to-year budget goes down significantly from what we've been budgeting. To make the project happen, to get it off the floor right now with the current pricing that we have, we would like to ask the board to make two changes or allow to free up some money in two of our dedicated funds, our restricted funds. The first would be a fund that the department has budgeted for painting. It's a fund that we have not placed money in quite a few years. We started budgeting for building repair as a overall building repair, and anytime we have needed to paint, we pulled from there. And plan to continue to pull from there. So it left about $22,000 in that budget line that we would like the board to free up so that we can make this strategic purchase of the bigger for the bigger project. The second request is really not a pulling from the budget, more of getting the money before we make a bigger purchase. And this has to do with the vehicle replacement fund. When we purchase vehicles, we strategically budget every year, make sure that we're keeping our numbers in accordance with what's out there. We submit that budget to the town. We plot that on a replacement schedule, so a $100,000 truck, we certainly don't ask for $100,000, which is a ridiculously number, by the way. We would plot that over the life expectancy of a vehicle. When we go to purchase a vehicle, we come back to the town with a proposal, which we most recently did within the last year. That's for a new tanker pumper, and I want to say that the ask was $940,000. Again, not an ask, that's an approval, that's money that's already been budgeted. At that time, we had not taken on this project, so we did not ask for the money for the packs that would be on this vehicle. In the same light, we are going to be looking at purchasing a new ladder truck, which is obviously a significant expense. We would need packs to go on that truck. So what we're asking the town for is to allow us to access, I want to say the ask was $91,000, which would represent 12 packs, 12 total packs, that's bottles, pack, and mask. 6 of them would be placed on the vehicle that we already have approval for, and 6 of them will be placed on the ladder truck when we replace it in 2 or 3 years. Again, asking for the money now is because it's a little out of sequence. We took this project on in an effort to long-term save, but we need to free up these funds now to make sure we get in as we like to get in.
Thank you for that, Paul. I appreciate that because you said it much more detailed than I could have from your memo. When we initially saw this, my first concern was dipping into the vehicle replacement fund for obvious reasons. These funds were set up, and we've worked hard over the last number of years to start to build these funds up so that we did have the money in there to appropriate towards the vehicles. My main concern is how we get that money back in over the next couple of years to replenish the 91,000. I'm not as concerned with the building painting fund, but
so again, the way we structure our budget is we put it on a replacement schedule. So monies that, when you're asking how do we replenish it, we are still budgeting along the same lines in the same way that we always have. So we're not going to be changing or rearranging anything, and this isn't a need to replace money that's been taken out. This is money that we did not appropriate from the purchase of the other vehicle to the honor about $45,000. When we budget for that vehicle, now that we purchased it, this will be year 1 of a 20-year projection. We would build that cost into that 20-year projection.
okay.
So honor about $2,000 difference there per year. And then the ladder truck, these monies are already built into that budget. We have just not purchased the ladder truck yet. So we're asking to access that money essentially
Understood.
early. So it's already built into the budget, is the short answer.
Okay, thank you.
So I think these are conversations that we're going to be having with the Patterson Fire Department as we review the budget. That, we're starting that process tonight. I share Sean's concern. Over the years, we've come to understand that, we have a bit of a shortfall overall in the vehicle replacement schedule, and now we're tapping into that. So, but I think those are the conversations we're going to have with the fire department when we sit down and talk about your budget and get a better understanding about what we're doing and where we're going to go.
Very good. Any other questions? If I could.
Just before we take public comment, so to be clear too, so when you buy a vehicle, like say you buy a rescue truck, the purchase price of the rescue truck isn't just the wheels and the engine and the frame. It's extra equipment that you need on it, jaws of life or whatever. So, so you're saying that these packs you didn't add with that new tanker pumper. That's equipment that would be part of the whole overall purchase price of that vehicle, which you didn't include because. So.
Yes, if I can clarify, when we made the purchase for the tanker pumper, the idea at the time, the strategy we were using was that we would take, for the vehicles that are coming out of service, we would take those packs and put them into the new rig. So there wouldn't, at that time, there was no need to budget or purchase built into the price those packs, because we have those packs. This change into these new packs, this is a different generation, if you will. It's new technology. They are a different size. They do a slightly different thing. They are not backwards compatible. So when we make this purchase, we will be unable to use the packs that we already have. So that's the difference for the purchase we already made. But to your other point, yes, this is essential equipment that goes on the truck. The truck's no good. Basically, the truck's no good if it doesn't have it on it. So we've always built that into the price of purchasing new trucks. You know, for an engine, it might be hose. Same thing. You know, it's no good without any hose on it. So this is along those same lines.
So with the ladder, you're asking to take some of that money towards that ladder truck. That's equipment that's going to be part of that overall price, but you're already getting it ahead of time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know, we plan to increase the number of packs on that rig. So right now we have 5, and the new ladder truck will have 6. That's how we came up with that number for that.
Bruce, you had a question?
Yeah, I basically have 2 questions. The first, they're talking about buying bulk. What about our other fire district? Would it be wise if we're buying bulk to look to see what their needs are as well? I have been at many meetings when we heard that each fire department wanted to have their own oxygen replacement system that was like $40,000 when we could have shared it. I would hope that maybe we could look at it that way. My other concern is when we talk about buying equipment that I would imagine is quite technical, and we're going to have it sitting someplace for 4 or 5 years because it's going to go on a new truck that we haven't purchased yet. I have concerns about how well that equipment will stand up sitting unused for that amount of time. It's sort of like when you buy a computer today and you put it in a storeroom and you pull it out 4 years from now and you find out the software you're going to use will not function on that computer. Now I realize this is a little different, but I think that's something you should be looking at. If we're going to have equipment that we want to make sure that it can be used and it can be used now, as opposed to looking at something that's going to sit on the shelf for 6 years, you don't know what's going to happen with it. Thank you.
If I can address the second concern first, if I didn't explain well enough, I apologize. The truck will not be here for a few years. We have not made that purchase. This equipment will go into service the day we get it. It's not going to sit around. It'll go into the truck that we have now. Again, when we are because we're looking to upgrade our equipment here, it's not backwards compatible. One of the bigger parts of the system is what firefighters refer to as a buddy breathing system, where, God forbid, there was some kind of incident or accident, another firefighter could hook into your system. Because it's not compatible backwards, we would need to replace everything all at once. So when that equipment comes in, it will go in service right away. It's just that we don't have the truck yet. They're purchasing it now, asking for the money now, is because we want to get the bulk purchase, switch it to the new technology. That new pack will go into the old truck when it comes in, and when the new truck comes in, it'll slip right in. So that's to the second
Paul,
concern.
just to clarify, I think what Bruce is trying to ask is, you're asking for 12 and you're going to put 6 on the truck right away. The tanker, 6 are going on that one.
The pumper tanker,
Where
we'll
will
go
the
6.
other 6 be? Will they be at the factory waiting to go into the new truck, or will they be on the site at the firehouse?
They're going to be on site, and we're going to get them right on our ladder truck right away.
Existing ladder.
Now, there's only
Oh, okay.
5 slots in that truck, so
Oh,
there will
okay.
be one that we'll probably use for training or put in service in some other way. We keep additional ones on the rescue trucks, so
Mhm.
we'll probably live there until we get that extra seat that has the proper mount for it. But again, they're going right in service.
Is there expiration dates on them, or is it just,
There is, my understanding is there are NFPA standards, those are recommendations about replacement and things like that. Some are annually and some are biannually inspected piece of equipment. My understanding is the masks have a 10-year expiration, and the packs and the bottles are recommended to switch out between 15 and 20. Again, if they don't pass certain testing or standards, they have to be pulled out right away. So some of the bulk purchase would of course be extra bottles, just in case we have one full. And to your first concern, sir, I would only say that the departments, they both belong to the town of Patterson, they both contract with the town of Patterson. They are both run individually, and sometimes there isn't the ability to bulk purchase in the way that I think you're talking about. I'm not saying that this is that circumstance, I'm just saying from time to time. The choices for SCBA, for example, as I watched the fire chiefs put this project together, there are lots of decisions, variables, sizes, abilities. This is the one that the Patterson Fire Department picked based on budget, ability level, and the best way we could serve the town. That was the Patterson Fire Department's pick. It's not like there's only one of these things and then everybody has to get it. So again, I'm not saying that Putt Lake would or wouldn't be involved in a purchase like this, or isn't interested. I'm just letting you know that at times these departments run very similar.
That sounds great. We're one community. These things are set up for the buddy system, you just said. Somehow I think at some of these fires, there will be members of both departments there. Wouldn't it be nice if the buddy from one department would be able to help the buddy from the other department? So I would think it would be wise for the town board to bring both fire departments in and see if these systems, a system is better for both of them, be it this system or another system, so that we at least are protecting all of our fire protectors in the same way. Thank you.
Paul, would it be possible for you to send me the specs on the tanks?
I can have one of the chiefs do that for you, sir, of course.
If you could do that, then I'll reach out to Putnam Lake. You know, I'll reach out to Putnam Lake.
Okay.
And we'll see what they have to say.
Thank you for your time.
Well, before you run away, just have one question that I wanted. You'd mentioned that the past practice for buying the equipment was you'd buy a couple at a time. So by that strategy, you probably have a varying degree of some that are newer and some that are older, getting close to expire. Is there value to other fire departments in the region for that older equipment? Once you transition to the new equipment, as you said, it's not going to be valuable to Patterson, but is there any value to donating it to another local fire department?
So my understanding is that the equipment that still has life on it will be traded in for credit against the cost of the project.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Okay. All right. Anything from any of the other board members?
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may ask one quick question. If I misunderstood, I apologize, but it sounds like you said it sounds like you had a plan for each one of these pack systems in place, but I'm kind of curious should we not budget for maybe a couple to act as redundant in case one of them is out of service and you need to replace it? That'd be the only question I have.
Sure. I can speak to that. The way that with the strategic purchase, the entire project is going to be honored about $300,000. What we're going to look to do, instead of purchasing 5 or 6 every year, what we will do is we will elongate the budget on that project, keeping in mind, of course, cost increase and things like that, put it on a 15-year schedule. So every year, as our budget, we'll be putting in a percentage. So if there's some kind of catastrophic fail, or it came out of service, or some other thing, we wouldn't be able to buy in real time. You know, we would shoot to buy bulk in the 15 years, but we have the maneuverability to make a purchase if we need to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody okay?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so thank you for that, Paul. I appreciate the explanation on all the questions. So I'm just going to simply make a motion to authorize the Paterson Fire Department to access the funds necessary for this request from the Vehicle Replacement Fund and the Painting Fund. The amounts listed were $91,026. and $22,092.11 for the acquisition of this SCBA PAX bottles and masks as discussed tonight. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I think that'll be an interesting conversation with Putt Lake to see
Yes.
what their interest is. Okay, next item we have is a request from our receiver of taxes, Mary Delanoy, and this request is to make a hire for Grace Ann Schmidt. This will be it's a temporary, I mean, it's not temporary, it's a part-time position in the receiver of taxes office. It's $18.23 an hour for up to 200 hours per year, and the hours per week depend on tax time and when those hours are needed. So I'll make a motion we approve Ms. Delanoy's request to hire Grace Ann Schmidt at that rate and for those hours. And once all the necessary human resource paperwork has been completed. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Okay. So tonight, the town board is presented with the tentative budget for 2022. As always, I would like to recognize Patricia Brooks, town controller, for all the hard work that she puts in preparing the tentative budget. This year's tentative budget proposes a 4.8% increase in the overall budget spending. Please take note that highway and most of the special districts are well under the proposed increase in spending. Unfortunately, this year there are several expenses driving the budget. They include changes to the testing requirements by the State Department of Health for all the water districts for PFOAs. Last year, the voters approved an increase in LoSAP benefits for the fire departments, which has resulted in a 19% increase in the town's contribution to LoSAP. We all have experienced the rising gas prices at the pump. Energy costs can be expected to increase even further in 2022, and so we've increased what we intend to spend on fuel. On this year's ballot in November is a referendum for increasing the funding for the library. And this is the first year the new sanitation contract for Putnam Lake area. As expected, there's a very large increase in the cost of that contract. Although we began preparing for that increase in the 2021 budget, we are still relying on fund balance to offset the full cost of the increase. And there is still a financial impact to Garbage District Number 2 in the budget from the change in the sanitation district. We do anticipate a moderate increase in revenues that will offset some of these expenses, but projected revenues are still below the pre-COVID revenue lines. This year, the budget must be considered a work in progress. There are still several budget requests which have not been addressed in the tentative budget. Rather than meeting with the individual department heads as I have in the past to discuss those requests, I've opted this year instead to wait until the full board can meet with department heads. Once again, I look forward to the discussion with the town board on developing a responsible budget for 2022. Questions?
Looking forward to going through it.
At some point, I am going to, need to have your schedules. We do have meetings set up, and I will also need from you which departments you would like to meet with. I can tell you I want to meet with certainly the building department, the town clerk, and the Paterson Fire Department, because I think there are issues that we need to discuss with all three of them. Outside of that, I look forward to any suggestions you may have. All right, next on my agenda is the Astro Subdivision performance bond. I had asked the town engineer to go out and recalculate the performance bond for the Astro Associates subdivision. It has been several years since we have recalculated the bond amount, and of course with escalating costs, I am concerned about having sufficient money to complete that subdivision should the developer default on it. I do not anticipate the developer is intending to default, but I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive with the bonds. I have a resolution here that would increase the bond amount that we are currently holding from $106,000 to $181,711. I'd like to ask that the resolution be entered into the minutes as read. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I just have
Aye.
a question. Where exactly is this?
This is down on 311, near Cross Road. Okay, and it is that time of the year. Are you ready? Roll in. See if I can read this through. So, bulk pickup for Putnam Lake will be this year on October 9th. Notices will be going out. We're anxiously anticipating our new contractor will do an outstanding job in collecting the bulk that we have out there. You all good? All good. So I'd like to move that we set the bulk curbside pickup for the Putnam Lake Garbage District number 1 for October 9th. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mary, you're up.
Okay, first item on my agenda, a recreation request from Mr. Matt Chavarro, Town of Patterson. Rec Department is looking to purchase some, I believe it says soccer jerseys, 35 soccer jerseys and 35 youth and 8 adult soccer jerseys. The lowest bidder came in from Select Sportswear for $477. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of these soccer jerseys in the amount not to exceed more than $477. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The second item is a leave of absence request from the EMS department. I believe she's an EMT. Doesn't state, Michaela Fowder is requesting a leave of absence to return to college effective August 30th until May 2022. So I'd like to make a motion to, for Michaela to take her leave of absence unpaid to return to college effective August 30th and return May 2022, the official date to be determined. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The last item I have is for Mr. Ruskoff to purchase a mower for the Gradle. Russ would like to purchase this mower mulcher attachment for the Gradle. The attachment would allow them to cut back brush and trees more thoroughly than the current mowers because it can reach higher and deeper. This attachment will also diminish the possibility of employees getting hurt from their backs and shoulders from pulling out the brush. This attachment fits their equipment that they already own, and it's a huge cost savings versus purchasing a new mower to do the same thing. So thank you, Russ, for looking into that, and thanks for keeping those guys safe out there. They do such a great job. So I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the Gradle in the amount of $26,000. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That brings us down to other business, and I think we have some announcements.
All right, first announcement we have is the annual Rotary Club of Patterson Blues and Barbecue Festival, Saturday, September 18th and 19th, noon to 7 p.m. 2 days of live music, fun for the whole family, fantastic mouth-watering barbecue, beer and wine, soft drinks, ice cream, snacks, vendors, kids corner, and so on. So, can you zoom in on this? Always a great time. Second announcement we have is the 9/11 ceremony, Saturday, September 11th, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. at Electrozone Field in Brewster. This is hosted by the Brewster VFW Post 672. So come, help us remember all those who lost their lives on 9/11, and help us pay tribute to all our service members who answered the call to fight for our freedom following this tragedy. I believe this is the memorial that's been going on for many years at Jack Ress, who had run it, and now it's moved over to Electrozone Field of Brewster, so it's a nice ceremony.
Yes, Jack is sorely missed. He's a great guy. Okay, we do have a few things that came in late. First is a request from Judge Caruso and Judge Leader requesting a medical leave for one of our court clerks. She needs to get some surgery and she's going to be out for a few days. And in her time that she is going to be out, we would like to appoint Spira Salvi, thank you. Spira Salvi as interim clerk to Judge Caruso. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So is that sufficient for what you need? Okay. Second thing is we're having some problems with some pump stations. Our head of building and maintenance has identified that we need to have Cornwall Meadows, Covington Greens, and Patterson Village lift stations cleaned out with a backer truck. This is something we do periodically to get the heavy solids and the grease out of the pump stations so they continue to function properly. The cost will be, got to do someplace. Oh, they're anticipating it's going to take a day. The cost is going to be $2,500. I'd like to make a motion that we approve Fred A. Cook Jr. Inc. to clean out the 3 pump stations previously mentioned. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the last thing I have that just came in this afternoon is our Justice Court clerks are looking to put in for a grant application under the Justice Court Assistance Program for a grant for several pieces of furniture, not to exceed $2,000. We have a resolution here that we need to do in order for them to send this grant up, and I'd like to move this resolution and ask that it be entered into the record as read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other board member have any other business that we should bring up at this time? Hearing none, we'll open it up to public recognition. If any member of the public here tonight wishes to address the board and ask any question or make any comments, please come up to the mic and provide your name and your address. Your statement.
George Disbrow, Paterson resident over on Tammany Hall Road. Also here representing the library. Just 3 very quick things. One, we were very pleased when the Paterson Fire Department had asked us across the street neighbors to participate in the parade, and we were able to. We had the banner, and we were able to put some staff trustees and our director, and so we're very pleased that they were asked us to do that. Second thing, as Mr. D'Andriano talked about, the Rotary Club Blues and Barbecue Festival. The library will have a table there. It is Library Card Sign-Up Month, so we're hoping with all of the kids who may be coming there and adults, as well as just letting them know what programs we have going on for this month. And the last one is that at the next town board meeting, I'm hoping that one of our newer trustees, Amanda Opramola, who you've met before, is going to be here to just make a brief presentation of our end of the year report. That brochure should be going out in the mail, if all goes well with the printer. It's 16th to the 18th of this month. So you should have it at home, and she'll just highlight some of those things.
George, if she's coming in, could you let me know for certain so I can put her on the agenda?
Sure.
rather than wait to the end?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. Those are really kind of you. Thank you.
sure. Anyone else? All right, we'll open it up to those joining us by Zoom. If there's anybody joining us by Zoom, if you could unmute and give your name and address for the record. Hello? Anybody wants to speak? Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to make any comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.